It's a big weekend in college football. Ole Miss trying to take down the defending champion Georgia Bulldogs, and two Ole Miss alums who will definitely be locked into this game, Eli and Archie Manning, the two most storied quarterbacks in school history. The father-son duo's professional teams with big games on tap this week as well. The Giants taking on the Cowboys in an NFC East matchup. Eli knows a thing or two about beating Dallas, and the Saints trying to stay atop of their division as they face the Vikings. Archie, who is a member of the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame, but also spent a brief stint with the Vikings as well. Eli and Archie Manning joining us now on CBS Sports HQ. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. And before we talk football, you guys are partnering with Quaker for a really, really special campaign. Eli, tell us about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, we're here to kick off the first ever Quaker pre-grain tour. If you're unfamiliar with the word pre-graining, it's basically just starting your pre-game routine with Quaker oats. And the tailgate, it'll be a tailgate that's visiting NFL stadiums to introduce the new digital Quaker playbook, which is 32 recipes representing all the NFL teams. And that tour will end at the Super Bowl Taste of the NFL. They'll announce a $250,000 donation to Quaker's longtime partner, Gen Youth. So Quaker does a great job just helping those make sure everyone has healthy, nutritious food, living a healthy lifestyle. So it's really great to partner with them. My dad and two of my daughters filmed a commercial this summer and had a lot of fun doing that as well.
Awesome. It sounds like an amazing partnership. Guys, let's talk about some of your former teams. We're going to start off talking about the Giants. They faced the Cowboys this week in a huge divisional matchup. Eli, you have beat the Cowboys in their first game at AT&T Stadium there in 2009. You signed the locker room wall. So walk us through that moment. Once you beat them in 2009, what is going through your head while you're signing this wall? And just for that reminder, like, hey, I beat you guys.
No, I mean, it's not exactly, how it went down. I didn't just sign the middle of the locker room. I wouldn't do that to another locker room. So I was in, every locker room has a locker room attendant at the away locker room. So I go in there afterwards. I would sign a few autographs for them. They take care of us, got to know these guys. So he said, we're starting a new tradition here. Can you sign the wall here in my office? And so I signed it. Of course, it was the first game ever in the stadium, so I had to, make sure everybody knew that was the first game ever, what the score was, that, we got our first win there. I went back the next year. There was like 15, 20 people also had signed the wall, and then the next year I went back, and that guy, I think, had been fired, and there was nothing, the wall had been painted over, but it was obviously an exciting time, but I wouldn't just go, randomly sign someone's locker room and right in the middle for everybody to see.
Of course, so you're a trendsetter there. Archie, for you, I want to talk about the Saints. They're sitting at 5-4 at the top of the NFC South with a two-quarterback system. So what do you make of that, and what do you make of their season so far?
Well, they're kind of coming on. It was kind of at the beginning of the season, a little bit up and down. And it's always, Eli, I'll tell you this, for a new quarterback, Derek Carr's been a good player in this league, experienced, came from the Raiders, but still it's a transition. It's an adjustment. I think one thing that kind of surprised me, I thought the Saints were entering the year with a really solid defense, and then they could get their offense up and going. Defense wasn't playing so well early on. They really weren't stopping the run. But I've seen improvement in the last couple of weeks. Derek's playing good. Kamara's back after his suspension. The division is not the toughest division in football, and so the Saints are probably tied for the top, and some of the other teams are kind of struggling there. I think they've got a good opportunity. They can stay healthy. They got to shore their offensive line up. It's got to become a little more solid, running and passing, and I think the Saints can win this division.
And they are facing the Vikings this week. Guys, I want to talk about your alma mater, Ole Miss, taking on the defending champs, the Georgia Bulldogs. I want to ask both of you, but Archie, I'll start with you. Do you think Ole Miss can take down the Dogs?
Well, that's a difficult task, especially going to Athens. Tough place to play. Great home stadium. Georgia has as good a players as anyone in the country. I think Eli would probably agree with me. The most talented teams in the country this year, I think, are Georgia, Alabama's always got talent. Ohio State's got talent. Michigan's playing great. You look at Washington, but Georgia's right there, and they're playing at home. Now, they've had a couple of close games this year. Auburn played them tough. I thought Missouri had a chance last week. And so if anyone could do it, Ole Miss has got a wide open offense. Lane Kiffin does a great job on offense. Pete Golden is taking their defense. They got a lot of transfers, a lot of portal players. Yes, they've given up some points, but I've seen improvement there. So, hey, nothing to lose. Go in there and let it all hang. You got a great running back at Ole Miss. So I think it's a lot of interest in this game. You know, the most interesting thing about it, Jacqueline, if they could pull off an upset there, probably would not have to play in the SEC championship game. Alabama would still win the West, and that's a plus, not having to play that game if they could get in the playoffs. So that's a lot to ask for because Georgia's a great team. Kirby does a super job over there.
Eli, what are your predictions? Do you think Ole Miss can do it? Can they take down Georgia?
I mean, they can. It's not going to be an easy task, but I think kind of like what my dad said, Georgia's played a lot of teams close. They still haven't been defeated. It's one thing to play a team close. It's one thing to beat a team. But Ole Miss, their offense is really clicking lately with Jackson Dart's playing well. They're running the football well. Defense is getting some timely turnovers. So they got to be able to do that. But it should be a great atmosphere, a great game. This is the great thing about all sports is, you know, big games late in the season that can have a big influence on the success of the whole season. So it should be a great atmosphere. Look forward to watching it and root for the Rebs.
Yeah, I know you guys will be locked into that matchup. Eli and Archie Manning joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate your time. Eli and Archie, of course, going to be cheering on the Rebs as they take on the defending champs, the Georgia Bulldogs, on Saturday. Following on their schedule, they got Louisiana, Monroe, and then Mississippi State on November 23rd.